Hello, this is Alan Simpson.
And this is Ray Galton.
Well, I thought I'd change it. I didn't
We
want to be egotistical.
We did get it right, didn't we?
Yes, exactly. I didn't want to be egotistical.
Steptoe and Son started life as a comedy playhouse. It was number 4 of the first series in 1962. They had no name. They were just 2 rag and bone men.
But the name came from a little shop in Richmond by the graveyard, just off of Red Lion Street. It was Steptoe and Son, and Steptoe and Fig, I think they were photographers. I thought it was a wonderful name to use.
We thought about Fig and Son, but still
no,
chance,
it had to be Steptoe.
It
had to be Steptoe. But it wasn't called Steptoe and Son until, of course, the show began a year later. Just the first one was called The Offer, wasn't it?
The first one was The Offer, yes.
It ran for 62 to 74.
Yeah. In two wallops. We did a series of 4, 62, 63, 64 and 65, and then we said that's it, we finished it, we've exhausted it, and
went away on holiday.
Yes, we went to Hollywood, I seem to recall, and we didn't do all that marvellously there, so we came home. And we started again with Steptoe in 68 in colour.
Oh, well.
We were rather worried about this because we thought it may make the home and the yard look too nice and take away from the dramatic impact of the greys and the blacks that we had there. And, well, I think our fears were unfounded.
The ones you're about to see were originally done in colour.
And you.
And we recorded them on a very antiquated system for our own personal use, just in case the BBC lost them, which was very unlikely.
Well, I mean, look around you. I mean, it's impossible, isn't it? I mean, all these future episodes of Neighbours here. I mean, it's impossible to lose things, but...
Naturally, the BBC did. They lost 1.5 series. But fortunately, in Ray's basement, Gathering Dust were these shows that we recorded all those years before.
These shows in black and white, of course, are not up to BBC standard because they were virtually for our own consumption on our little portable machine. Nevertheless, though they were originally recorded by the BBC in colour, I think they still stand up to today's requirements, and I think we're extremely lucky that we've got them. I think that's the main thing, that they're there. They haven't been wiped, whether they're black and white or colour. I think really just thankful that we have got some record of them, and I hope it won't be too much of a distraction.
I haven't done me privates yet.
After I discovered these in the basement, we gave them to the film archives, people who restored them to the best of their ability, which is the quality you see now. And they were shown on the big screen at the cinema on the South Bank. And pleased to say, the audience there reacted magnificently. They laughed in the right places and seemed to thoroughly enjoy them. So I hope you will at home.
I remember Winter's Tale very well. The thing that sticks out in my mind is Obergurgle. And it's the most marvellous name to a place to go to on holiday. And the other thing I remember, we called it A Winter's Tale. We just finished doing a series, a film with Lawrence Harvey, who was playing in A Winter's Tale. And when we wrote the actual episode, the title immediately sprang to mind. I mean, the fact that Shakespeare had used it before us, that was too bad. But enjoyed making that one very well. It was what we call a two-hander, and obviously because there were only 2 of them doing it. But the BBC loved those as well because they were cheaper. They didn't have to employ so many actors. Steptoe and Son illustrated why we enjoyed writing Steptoe so much, because it enabled us to use subjects that we couldn't use when we were writing, for instance, Hancock's Half Hour. And Steptoe and Son is a perfect example of this. Harold has once in his life sown some wild oats a few months ago, and it looks as if they're coming home to roost. But as always with Steptoes, not everything is as it appears to be. The last one, Two's Company, I always remember because we had the lovely Jean Kent in it. One of the lovely things about writing Comedy Playhouse when we first started doing it was it enabled us to write for actors. And we used to love to try and get actors and actresses that we'd admired over the years. And of course Jean Kent was one of them. We were delighted when she agreed to do Two's Company, playing Mrs. Goodlace, who Albert has met at Derby and Joan Club. And she was delightful. She was living in Malta and flew over especially to do it. And once again, it all didn't go smooth this time for Albert, because Mrs. Goodlace had a past as well.
These were found under layers of homemade chutney and preserves, and quite fortuitously. So we found these and gave them to the National Film Archives, and they managed to salvage what you're about to see.
And made the Lord make us truly thankful.
And rich, but I doubt that.